Leo Bennett Koshan, Luther Burbank High School parent. I again would like to ask the board to consider moving public comment earlier than 10 p.m. Many boards have public comment first. Some boards have public comment at the end. In the past, you've compromised with public comment after the president's report. I don't consider it good customer service that public comment has to wait so late in your meeting. Thank you.
And thank you.
Very good. You're right.
As a big Star Trek fan, I thought that was great. And the little exclamation point I wanted to end is one of my favorite scenes is in the original Star Trek movies where the starship burns and the Star Trek commander goes, "My God, what have I done?" And the doctor replies, "You've helped us live another day." And what I take from that is it's people first, people second, people third. Not your facilities, no other part of your budget is what helps us go boldly into success. Thank you for this opportunity to comment on the President's report. In terms of the self-evaluation instrument, this is an instrument that's in progress, and I did find it to be narrowly focused in terms of individuals, and I would urge that you consider expanding it because you're all great individuals, but I think you need to evaluate yourself as a whole as well, as a board. And also perhaps as a teacher, if you're having trouble gathering the evaluations, maybe that's a sign that you need more frequent evaluations. And some boards evaluate themselves at the end of every meeting. So I'd encourage consideration of that. Thank you, President, for the consideration of citizen-centered reporting. And I'd urge you to consider at the same time student-centered budgeting. I think if you put those two things together, it'll be an awesome warp 10. And lastly, this is my comment in terms of the superintendent search. If you just Google superintendent search, you'll get a lot of hits where districts are using community stakeholders. I cannot yet see that we're doing that for our superintendent search. I've participated in superintendent searches as a community stakeholder, and we interviewed the finalists with exactly the same questionnaire that the board did, wrote up our comments, and it was a valuable additional piece as you try to make this discernment. And I think anybody who's a finalist should have to go through the rigors of being interviewed by the public. Thank you.
And thank you. Item 9.7.
Leo Bennett Koshan, Luther Burbank parent. I wanted to encourage you to take a second look and a third look at many of the recommendations that are included in the exhaustive community meetings. There were a lot of good suggestions from the public that I think could be brought back and considered. I'd also like to encourage you to think a little bit out of the box. And in slide number 7, there's a list of 4 essential questions. I would suggest 2 more. Is there a use at Cerna Center that could be moved to one of these underutilized closed sites? Because if you can empty Cerna Center, I think you can have a real revenue enhancement project here. I would also consider looking, can one of our small high schools that are in brand new underutilized facilities, would they be a good fit for some of these closed sites? Because again, those are sites that have some really good revenue enhancement options because of their state-of-the-art facilities. I would ask you to consider to look at the sector I call the unasked nonprofits. When I've been out in the community, you have many nonprofits that feel that the district in the past has been blind and deaf to their requests, and they don't put forth the public requests. So I think if you ask some of these nonprofits, that might change that dynamic. And then lastly, I wanted to echo the consideration of Genesis. I think SAC Charter is an awesome program that is in an underutilized and misplaced facility. It's another source of revenue because it could use some strong accounting support, and if you move it close at hand, instead of using St. Hope Academy, perhaps that could be part of the lease, is that they utilize our services. Thank you.
Thank you.